right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The end of the NFL season. Welcome to the No Punt Intended podcast here on Entertainment Buddha. Check us out online at www.entertainmentbuddha.com, where we make you a better geek one post at a time. And with me, as always, is the number nerd himself, Mr. Justin Ludwig.
Right, the same guy that was so proud of his chain of heartbreak that he so devilishly saw happening. And he didn't take the chance to validate it in the Super Bowl. For those who aren't privy to the conversation you and I had earlier, I was gloating that I had figured that, well, not figured, I was proud of myself for recognizing that, at least in the NFC games, there's been what I called the chain of heartbreak, where the Detroit Lions lost a heartbreaker to Dallas, who then the next week lost a heartbreaker to Green Bay, who then the next week lost a heartbreaker to Seattle, who then in the Super Bowl lost their heartbreaker to the New England Patriots. And
the chain of heartbreak, just in time for those red velvet Oreos.
I know, and the heartbreak continues because I haven't been able to get my hands on some red velvet Oreos, and it's been 2 days now. I feel like I'm cast away on a deserted island or something. 2 days now, no red velvet Oreos. Starting to lose all hope.
Did they only release it well, you're in a major city, so you should
I know. I'll have to widen up my radius, my search radius.
Do they know that you're part of Entertainment Buddha? Like, they should have sent you, like, packages.
Maybe I didn't put enough postage on the letter I sent.
Your self-addressed stamped envelope.
Send a self-addressed stamped envelope. Yeah, I still have that Larry Bird card. I forgot to put up a contest for it. I'll have to just figure out something a little later.
Well, there's always next season.
Yeah. If you want this Larry Bird card, send a self-addressed stamped envelope, too. We should come up with like an Entertainment Buddha mailing address so we can say, like, Stick Stickley had one, and game shows had them.
Yeah,
we need something that they can write to like a PO box.
If you want tickets to this show, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to da da da.
Yep.
Well, we'll have to work on that.
We'll have to bring that up during the meetings.
Yeah,
when we eat pizza and I'll have to tell them to get red velvet Oreos for the meeting.
If we can find them.
I will also accept a Federal Donut.
All right.
That's also a Philly thing.
Here's what shocked me a little bit. I found out that you do not dunk your Oreos. You're a crunchy Oreo eater.
Yep. Plain Jane.
But
why is that weird?
I don't know. I've just
people
always
eat pancakes without any syrup or anything.
That's weird too.
You know what I've started putting on pancakes? Peanut butter.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's good. And then when I make them with chocolate chips, it's even better.
Oh, there you go. That should be the next Oreo flavor.
Peanut butter pancake?
Yeah. No?
I don't know.
I'm just waiting for them to do like, who was it, Lay's, where you like send in a flavor of chip that you would recommend and then they make it. Like they did like a chicken and waffle one and
yeah, that's not bad. If you had to come up with 3 flavors of Oreos, what would you suggest? 3 flavors of Oreos.
I don't know.
Trouble is, they've already done a lot of the good ones.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like a chocolate chip type one.
They've kind of done that. They had a cookie dough one.
Oh, okay.
Because I
don't know. I'd have to think about that a little more.
They had a limited run of cookie dough, and then they also had Rice Krispie treat. That was my favorite.
I never had the Rice Krispie treat.
And then they also had birthday cake.
I've had that. All right. Well, let's talk about the game, shall we?
Let's go to that delicious dish, which was Super Bowl XLIX.
Rest in peace, Roman numerals.
And I did have pizza. Did you have pizza? Did you have wings?
I had wings.
Did you have dip?
Wings. No.
Did you have cupcakes?
No cupcakes.
Okay.
I did have like miniature pizza thing, not bagel bites, but like it's in between the size of a normal pizza.
Don't say the name. I had knockoff bagel bites.
Well, they were like English muffin size.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah. So how about that game?
Overall impressions. What were your overall impressions?
Well, at first I was surprised at how many people were picking the Patriots, because I honestly thought Seattle would. I honestly thought Seattle was going to win outright. That's why I picked them. Their defense has been spectacular the last few weeks. I was a little unsure of why so many people were betting and picking the Patriots, and once again I'm proven wrong. So here we are. But no, it was a great game. I mean, Brady had to throw the ball 50 times. But they just picked apart that defense, and that's what New England does. They take long drives. There's nothing super fancy about them, super over the top. They just know how to run routes and pick the right plays.
Yeah, it was hard to gauge for the first, I don't know, at least through the first quarter, and then even most way through the second quarter was tough to gauge because there wasn't really much scoring going on. Even Tom Brady had a couple of those. He had a couple of dumb passes.
Right.
So it was hard to get a grip of, the overall flow of the game. And then things kind of opened up. I mean, I remember there was a time during the second quarter where Russell Wilson had, 4 passing attempts.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, at that point, it was just hard to extrapolate that the Seahawks would be able to generate enough offense to do well.
Right. Well,
they did, but
they had a couple really big plays from Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
Which Arrington, the quarterback for New England, was actually taken out of the game, and once they put I think it was Brandon Browner on Chris Matthews, he kind of quieted down. But I was really impressed with the Seahawks when they were down 14-7 with, I don't know, what they have, like a minute or less than a minute left till halftime, and they just ran down the field and scored. They didn't try going for just taking the field goal. They really wanted to score, so they were able to tie up that game at the half. I was pretty impressed, especially the way they started. Like you said, they were kind of off their game a little bit, and it didn't really seem like Marshawn Lynch was getting going early on. So
yeah, it was such a gut punch that they were able to score right before the end of the half too.
Yeah, it was a gut punch for the Patriots and a kind of a motivational thing for Seattle. So it was kind of nice because last year was such a blowout that people stopped paying attention, so early in the game, and this year was 0-0 at the start of the game and a tie score again at the second half. So
maybe people fell asleep.
All
I
came
don't know.
down to those last 2 quarters. What's that?
So maybe people fell asleep by the end of the first quarter instead of tuning out.
Well, I don't know. I think people want to stay up and see Katy Perry. I know I did.
Her multiple wardrobe changes of 50-year-old Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, and dancing sharks.
Dancing sharks.
The shark memes have been fantastic. I was sent a couple today, and they were pretty humorous, so I enjoyed that.
The dance stage was pretty cool.
Not just that, but also yeah, that was cool, and I really enjoyed the More You Know star that she was riding.
Did she realize that?
I feel like she'd have to. I feel like she'd have to know that this is the More You Know star. Like, how it was like exactly the same, right? I mean,
maybe she figured it would just generate more
cool
interest and more memes and stuff. That it would just be like any publicity is good publicity. Maybe that's what she thought. And she figured, I can't go wrong with doing this. The More You Know star.
And she couldn't go wrong with having a Wii strap on her microphone either.
Hey, safety first.
Oh, I know. She was being lifted high. She didn't want to drop that microphone.
I would probably poop my pants.
Well, that's why you're.
But
not
I'm
doing
not
the
Katy
halftime
Perry.
Show. Yeah, you're not riding out on a giant lion or tiger or whatever that thing was.
That was pretty cool.
Well, I've seen a lot of people since the Super Bowl post on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, saying that how, like, was this the worst halftime show ever? And a lot of people were like, yeah, it's the worst ever. I was like, I don't understand people's standards for a halftime show. Like, do they want someone to just come out and sing and that's it? Or do they want, like, fireworks and, like, wardrobe change? Like, or do they just not like Katy Perry? Like, that's what I am trying to figure out.
I mean, for performance, it was all right. They got Katy Perry, then they added in Missy Elliott, and then they added in Lenny Kravitz. I mean, it was a nice variety. Multiple sets, multiple wardrobes, multiple songs. I mean, it's like when The Who did it a couple years ago. People were texting me and say, "Oh, did you hear that The Who's going to do the halftime show?" I said, "Yeah, they're going to do 3 songs." I named 3 songs. I said, "And that's going to be it." And then who was it? Tom Petty did it the year before. Didn't the Stones do it the year before that, or somebody? It was
Stones
like another
did it,
British
like,
invasion.
I think Bruce Springsteen did it one year. Yeah, because for a while they were going with like, all right, we're gonna only have 50-plus-year-old rockers do the halftime show because less chance of a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, safe bet.
Yeah,
safe bet.
Yeah,
but I mean, for those, it's like they come out, they're on a stage, they'll do 3 songs, and that's it. I mean, at least with this one, they were doing a whole bunch of stuff. They had the cool chessboard set, they had the big lion, they had the More You Know star, they had
dancing sharks, arm wacky waving, arm flailing, inflatable palm trees. I thought it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. What any commercials catch your eye?
Do you think it was like when they were auditioning dancers, and maybe they get one that isn't quite the looker that the other ones are, they say, "You can be a shark." And then the person went home and was like, "I'm gonna be the best damn shark ever." And then they totally did. And now it's like, you know the left shark from Katy Perry? That was me.
That's the one everyone's talking about.
I'm the one everyone's all those memes, they're me. But you can't prove it.
Right, like, unless if you were by yourself in a Super Bowl and no one knew where you were, you could just be like, "Oh yeah, I was the shark." I'll admit I was not the shark. Or was
Well, there's
I?
one down.
Yeah.
Somewhere somebody's just going on this giant list and they're crossing out Nick Hershey, not a shark. Well, I'm not throwing my hat in the ring and saying that I'm not the shark, so
all right.
I'm not crossing a name off that list.
Fair enough.
What did I think about the commercial? They were depressing.
Yeah. They didn't seem to go for the comedy.
Go for the comedy jugular like they normally do.
Yeah.
Even who was the dog one? Budweiser?
Yeah.
Even they went pretty sappy. I mean, it was good.
They've done that before though.
I know.
That and the nationwide one was drawing a stir.
Did you hear the cover song that was on the Budweiser?
No.
It sounded like the band Fun, but it was a cover of "I Would Walk 500 Miles" by the Proclaimers. But it was like their style of music, where it's that really kind of slow. But that's what it was.
Interesting.
It's like, oh, that's a nice little nod.
Interesting. Every time I hear the Proclaimers of 500 Miles, I think of Family Guy, where Peter's in the band and then they start yelling over top of the,
right.
Yeah. Speaking of that, there was
did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
Ted. I've seen it. I haven't seen all of them.
All the trailers?
What's that?
You haven't seen all the trailers?
No, I haven't.
Or just... Yeah, I think it'll be all right.
Wait, all the trailers for what?
My question is...
What are we talking about here? I think I'm confused.
For Ted.
For Ted, okay. Yes. I saw... Yeah, if that was only the second one, then yeah, I've seen them. Because that one had Tom Brady.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, I saw the other one without Tom Brady. But my question is, what happened to Mila Kunis?
So...
Where's her character?
So, apparently...
Why'd she get the ejector seat?
Well, apparently, from what I gathered, and you can read on last week's movie news and rumors, movie focuses...
Good plug.
Thank you. The movie focuses more on the bromance, if you will, of John and Ted, as opposed to any sort of love interest outside of Ted's personal life. So it's not that anything really happened with Mila Kunis and Mark Wahlberg. It's just that they're not focusing on her because she's not in it at all.
They're not focusing her because she's not in it.
Yes. So
well, what about Amanda Seyfried? Is she going to be a romantic interest, or is that just like a platonic thing?
I think that's just a platonic thing.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah. She's the lawyer trying to help Ted gain his humanish rights so he can have a kid.
You know what? All they have to do is cite Short Circuit 2 because Johnny Five, the robot, was sworn in as a U.S. citizen. So
yeah,
there's precedent for that.
Well, you have Robot or a miraculous alive talking bear. So
it's a miraculous alive talking robot.
Can you put them in the same category? That's what we'll find out. That's what we'll find out
when you see Ted 2 in theaters.
I also enjoyed the Jurassic World preview. I think I'm kind of excited for that. I wasn't at first when I first heard about it, but I don't know. They're introducing new dinosaurs, bigger teeth, better graphics, better effects.
But
Chris Pratt's a raptor whisperer, and him and his pack of raptors go chasing after the Indominus Rex.
Is that what he really is?
Yeah, in the one trailer, it shows him like surrounded by raptors, but he's like calming them down. And then there's another one where he lets them out of their cage or whatever, and he's racing on a motorcycle, and they're like racing ahead of him because they're going after this other dinosaur that was created to bring in tourists, and now it's gone wild.
There was a dinosaur sent back from the future to make sure that this park survives. Sent back by John Connor. Terminator Genesis reference.
That also comes out.
It fits. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back to the game for a little bit here. We talked about halftime show, talked about commercials. Let's get this second half here. You know what? We're gonna talk about it. That last call at the end of the game for the Seahawks. Your thoughts?
See, I'll rewind it back another, I don't know, like 45 seconds a minute, and I'll walk you through my thoughts from there. So New England scores, and they scored with 2 minutes left. It's 28-24 New England, and I thought, all right, you know what's going to happen? Seattle's going to march right down the field, like they've had no problem doing, for some parts of this game and for the end of last game against Green Bay. They're going to score, and then it's going to be up to New England as to whether they can score or not. So they get the ball back. They have that deep bomb, that improbable catch, that who did it? Curse.
Oh yes,
he did that nice
when he was falling and kept his eye on the ball.
Yeah, that he makes that absolutely catch that he pulls out from the inner recesses of his his behind, and I thought, you know what, that's it. They deserved to win after that.
Yeah.
There was little time left. I figured they'll just bleed the clock. And then the other thing is, I didn't understand why the Patriots weren't playing better clock management. It was almost as if they knew that some folly was going to happen at the end of the game that they wouldn't have to worry about it. Because Seattle bled down the clock to less than 30 seconds by the time they threw that interception. That's what I didn't get.
Right.
It just didn't seem like mastermind Bill Belichick was, operating at full speed. And then the thing is, if they don't get that interception and Seattle scores, I mean, the story instead of this dumb play call is Bill Belichick not doing good time management.
Right.
And then that's the story.
Yeah, it's maybe he can see the future, and he was like, you know what? I could use this timeout, but I won't need to.
Maybe that's why he wore his blue hoodie, because maybe his blue hoodie is blessed with some sort of foresight or something.
And he got blue Gatorade.
Blue Gatorade, too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's I've read articles where they're trying not necessarily defend but explain why they went with a pass play on second down from the 1 yard line.
Have you seen the conspiracy theories about this?
No, but hit me with them.
Most of them are things like they didn't want Marshawn Lynch to score because he would have been the MVP and he would have, because I guess this is a contract year for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
They didn't want him to be the MVP because of some riffraff with the league or something, because he was, he was a holdout for media day. There was like one other dumb reason. Keep sharing your thoughts. I'll see if I can find.
All right.
This.
Well,
flim-flam list.
Like I said, some of the articles I read trying to explain why they called the play they called. Like it makes sense because they backed it up with stats, which based on the season, you figure worst case scenario in that play is a drop pass or something like that. But basically, Seattle was trying to run the clock down a little bit, but not too much. And they were afraid that if they gave it to Marshawn Lynch right away, he would score right away, which, we'll never know, leaving whatever 20 seconds or so left on the clock for New England. So by running the pass play, they ran a few seconds on 108. Actually, 108 passes were thrown from the 1 yard line. Like towards with 1 yard to go to the end zone in the NFL this season. None of them resulted in an interception until Super Bowl.
No.
So there's that. The other stat I read was that at the 1 yard line to the end zone, teams that passed the ball had more success scoring percentage wise than they did running the ball. But I think that's too is because more teams ran it from the 1 yard line than they did pass. So it's a little skewed that way. But I don't know. If I'm in that position, I think you just give it to Marshawn and just say, take the points, try, let the Patriots get the ball back with 20 something seconds, make them create the big plays to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
If they really didn't want to give it to Marshawn Lynch for conspiracy reasons, then give it to a fullback, give it to Turbin, the backup running back. He doesn't have the power of Marshawn, but from 1 yard out, you would think in a couple tries he'd be able to get it. So I just don't know. I also thought maybe Pete Carroll had some cookies placed on the Patriots, so maybe that was it.
Little shenanigans.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they had the Pete Rose commercial about him being in the hall and not being allowed in the hall. That was funny. That was probably the funny one.
Well, and Pete. Well, I don't count that as a Super Bowl commercial because that's been on before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen that before. But Pete Carroll used to coach New England, and maybe there was
some chicanery going on.
Yeah, maybe there was something going on there. Like, hey, Pete, you screw up this Super Bowl for us, and I don't know. That's just another conspiracy theory, but.
Well, I think the most perplexing thing is just the selection itself. I mean, Marshawn's been running it. He'd been running it down their gullet the whole time.
Right. Well,
that's what I thought they were going to. I mean, from like 45 seconds in, my thoughts were centered around just let them score so you'll have more time to try and score yourself. Because, had the Seahawks scored, you would have just needed a field goal to send it to overtime at the very least.
Right. And we were texting about that because I remember texting you. I was like, if you're in New England, do you let them score here? And you were like, yeah, you do. And then like the next play, he intercepts the ball. And then gets a truck because Tom Brady doesn't need his MVP truck.
Yeah. I mean, the really interesting thing was had Seattle not had a neutral zone infraction when New England was on the, half-yard line. That was interesting because it would have been interesting to see if New England gave up a safety and then Seattle got the ball back.
Right. And I was looking too because I was wondering why Butler didn't just go down with the ball when he caught it. Because you think if he catches it in the end zone, they get the ball at the 20.
Yeah. I think he had too much momentum coming out after that
catch. Right. Because after watching the replay and everything, when he catches the ball, he's out of the end zone, kind of gets hit back in in his collision with the receiver, and I think he was smart enough to realize that he was out of the end zone, so he needs to try and work it out like he did, but he just didn't get as far as he was hoping.
Yeah.
But I mean, it worked out for him. So like you said, Seattle had that infraction, and then there was a fight, and
well, you knew that was going to happen. You knew that Seattle was going to try and get physical in the victory formation just to try and get something, some, fumble or something, and then tempers get hot, and
yeah,
it's exactly what the NFL needed.
Yep. And now Roger Goodell's gonna take the back seat because all the focus and everything is on New England and Seattle losing, and crazy. I did read something that was kind of interesting, talking about New England's deflated balls. The NFL got video surveillance of one of the locker room attendants for New England, like going into like an area or bathroom or something like that with the balls. They could get that video, but they couldn't get the video of Ray Rice in a casino punching out his fiance.
Well, just wait till TMZ gets a hold of something.
Yeah, that's true. From here on out, rely on TMZ ahead of Roger Goodell in the NFL.
Yeah, but then the thing is, what if something actually comes out of this at the end of the season? What do you do? What's the action? I mean, I'd imagine like the Super Bowl, everything's legit, that you couldn't do,
right,
whatever flim flam with the footballs, but
they'll get fined and maybe lose draft picks. Really, I think that's all, because they're not going to take a Super Bowl away.
No,
they're not. Yeah, they're not going to do anything like that. I mean, when New England got in trouble for Spygate back in 2007 or whatever, they were fined and lost some draft picks. And that was that. So if anything comes of this, that's probably all it'll be. And there's been enough scientists reporting that if Tom Brady had the ball at the lowest legal limit, which is 12.5 psi, then the weather conditions they were in could have definitely changed it to an illegal ball.
Listen, once Bill Nye the Science Guy gives his 2 cents, there's no reason to ask anybody else their opinion.
Did he give his 2 cents? I
thought he did.
Yeah, let me see.
But I think what he came up with was in contradiction to that, and because I know he made a playful jab at Tom Brady during the Super Bowl when he was having a string of incomplete passes. He said something like he's unable to do as well because the balls are inflated to what they need to be or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was a playful jab from Bill Nye.
Yeah, but he also had a tweet that he was wearing blue and green, so he appears to be a Seahawks fan. So maybe
a little bias.
Let's see. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting, some of the theories and all the scientists that got involved with football and weather.
Did you see that the national anthem had no action in the end?
No, nobody bet on it?
No, they canceled it.
Why?
It turns out that at least Sportsbook announced that it suspended prop wagers related to the national anthem's length. It suspected insider info from a rehearsal that may have leaked.
Interesting.
Because apparently they tweeted something that said, we suddenly just took multiple max bets on over 122.5 seconds on the anthem.
Yeah.
And they suspected that somebody, and then I think the final was like 4 seconds over.
Right. Yeah. I had it timed unofficially while I was watching. I think I had it like 3 or 4 seconds over. Let's see. What were some of the other bets? Well, actually, Nevada, Las Vegas house won from the Super Bowl. I think 3.2 million is what the total came to for Vegas bets for Seattle or excuse me, New England over Seattle.
Well, let's see. The over 47 was the over under. It went over. Mm-hmm. Again, it's gone over every Super Bowl since 46. when the Giants narrowly defeated the Patriots. So the last 3 have gone over. As you said, the Gatorade was blue. Katy Perry wore a dress above the knee.
Mm-hmm.
I know we were texting. I can't remember.
Brandon LaFell scored the first touchdown of the game.
First touchdown.
I forget what his odds were.
Wasn't there one that the longest punt from one of the punters would be more than 52 yards? I thought that was a thing.
I think so. I don't know what.
Well, they both exceeded 52. So
okay.
Had you bet over, you would have won. Had I bet on New England to win a heartbreaker over Seattle, I've also would have won. But because I'm an idiot.
Well, these are things we learn.
I know. This is just the testing year, I guess, and then next year is the validation year.
Yeah. Let's see.
Look. Here's an interesting little nugget. Seattle scored all of their points on 4 consecutive drives that started with 7 minutes to go in the second and finished with about 5 minutes to go in the third. 4 consecutive drives that they scored touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Every other drive resulted in either a punt or that last fateful one ended in an interception. New England's was sprinkled all around.
Yeah.
So it's like you cut that middle chunk of like, I don't know, like 15 minutes. They're completely out of it.
Yeah, I was just trying to look at some of the other prop bets. Actually, I came across this Chris Collinsworth tweet I had sent out. It was before the game, and he was talking about New England's offensive line, and he just goes, "There's no shortage of red meat in front of Tom Brady today."
Wow,
really? That's what you're going with, Chris, on Super Bowl Sunday?
I do remember Al Michaels mentioning deflated balls at least once, but I don't remember if Giselle was on camera.
I don't think she was there.
I don't either.
I remember them. Yeah, they talked about deflated balls like before the game, which I think doesn't count for the prop bet. I think it has to be discussed during the game. So I know they discussed it once before the game. I know they discussed it once during the game. I think that might have been it. But I wasn't keeping too close track on that. Too busy trying to figure out what Katy Perry was going to wear at halftime.
At University of Phoenix Stadium, you could have paid $15 for popcorn or $11 for a margarita.
No thanks.
Well, I mean, if you're shelling out, what is it, like 25 or whatever, like $5,000 just to go to the Super Bowl? I mean,
I think
what's $15?
Well, I think this was the most expensive Super Bowl. I think the cheapest ticket leading up to Sunday was $8,000.
Wow.
And the reason being is because all these ticket companies sell tickets before they actually have them. And then it's basically it's short buying is what it is. Like they say they have all these tickets available and then are like, oh, and then don't get them on. They're like, oh, by the way, we don't have all these tickets. Which happened to a Seattle fan I was reading about. He sold his NFC Championship game tickets so that he could pay for the Super Bowl. Bought his Super Bowl tickets from a ticket broker and then received a notice saying, unfortunately, we're not able to meet all our requirements for tickets. So he lost out on the NFC Championship and he couldn't go to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Have you seen the I'm going to Disney World commercial yet?
No. I mean, they've had them before where it's like a montage of a bunch of the people that win the Super Bowl that they say, is this a newer one?
Well, yeah, this is for the Super Bowl. It was Julian Edelman and Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler should get it paid for.
Well, here, you know what? I was curious as to...
Like, listen, you just made the biggest play of your life and the biggest play of the year.
Right. No, they do. They do. If they participate, they get it paid for. Because I did some research about this. So
Well, it's like Tom Brady getting another truck. Does he really need another truck? Do they
well,
really need to get
that's why
their
he gave
Disney?
it to Malcolm Butler.
Do they really need their Disney World trip to be, gratis?
Yeah. Well, I was curious as to how the whole I'm going to Disney World thing started. So, according to Wikipedia, it started back in 1987. They started airing these commercials. The first athlete was Phil Simms of the New York Giants after the Super Bowl. They reportedly paid him $75,000 to say that. In 1987, mind you, $75,000.
That's $87.
In subsequent years, Disney reportedly has offered $30,000 to athletes participating in the ads and appearing at one of its theme parks. $30,000 to say, I'm going to Disneyland.
Yeah, but what if they're like, you need to appear at Euro Disney, and they shunt you off there? It's like, ugh, I really wish I didn't say that.
This is specifically for Disney World or Disneyland.
I know, but
So
what if it was like some legal mumbo jumbo?
Well, I'm sure maybe they do that for like
just
soccer or
speculating.
rugby, and we just don't know about it because we don't watch that in America.
I'm going to Euro Disney.
Do they serve beer at Euro Disney?
Maybe wine.
Yeah, I'm
Bagels?
curious. I don't know. French bread loaf.
Sure.
So I thought it was interesting. They have a list of a bunch of other stars, and it's spread out to other celebrities as well, not just football. Let's see. Tom Brady did it in 2002. Tom Brady did it in 2004.
Yeah, but in 2004, does Tom Brady really need $75,000? No.
Well, no. Apparently, the $75,000 was only to Phil Simms. The
Or
first
what?
go around.
The 30,000 or a free
30,000.
trip. He doesn't need a free trip. He's Tom Brady.
I know, but like they need somebody to say it, and nobody does stuff for free anymore. So and if you can make an easy $30K just by saying those words, like why not? In the 5 seconds it takes you to say that.
Yeah,
Sure.
but it's robotic. Like when people cut those promos for like different local channels, like you're watching Modern Family on Flibba, and then they do it again. You're watching Modern Family on channel that's not the same.
Oh, let's see. Santa Claus said it in Christmas in 1997. So I don't know if he ever made it down there.
Claus.
Let's see. Barry Bonds in 2001. Who else? Wade, Eli Manning.
Dwayne Wade lived in Miami. What is he? It's like
David,
yeah, I'm going down the street to Disney World. Then I'm going home. Do you need a hotel? Nah, I can walk.
Season 7 American Idol winner David Cook. Season 8 American Idol winner Chris Allen. Bruce Springsteen said it during the halftime show in 2009. I don't know if he was prompted to or if he just decided to say it.
Maybe he figured he'd just roll the dice and see if he got something afterwards. Oh, you said, maybe. Dear Bruce, thank you for that plug. Even though you weren't under contract, here's free set of mouse ears.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. So yeah, I was just curious as to how that all got started and everything. So I thought it was kind of interesting. And it's still going strong apparently. Let's see.
I guess they need to up
a couple
the
other NFL news.
I'm
items.
going to
Dan Quinn. Yeah. Well, they'll figure something out, I'm sure. Atlanta Falcons hired Quinn. Dan Quinn as new head coach. Johnny Manziel has entered rehab. His reasoning was, I figured the offseason was the best time to do it. Even though that didn't really stop him from doing his thing in the regular season. Other Browns news, Josh Gordon is suspended for at least a year for another failed drug test.
Are you serious?
Yep, very serious.
That
So
impacts fantasy.
don't pick him up next year, even if you're hoping for a late return, because
Holy moly!
I can't imagine he would appeal this again and win after a second offense or a third or fourth, whatever, however many offenses this is.
Is there a lifetime ban? Like, if you break the rules so many times, is there a lifetime ban?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what he would have to do or how many times he would have to get banned, but I'm pretty sure it's like baseball where there's so many bans, then you're done.
Well,
I mean,
third.
it's Roger Goodell, so maybe he loses count of how many offenses, but yeah. So yeah, that's some of the football news. Early favorites for next year's Super Bowl. Do you know who it is?
It's the Steelers, isn't it?
The Pittsburgh Steelers are the early Super Bowl favorites. So put your cookies down now, and I have no idea if they even released odds for next year's Super Bowl, but I didn't look that up.
It's interesting.
I forget what they were at the beginning of the season, but yeah, the Yinzers with Le'Veon Bell and
where did you see that? It's different on Bovada.
Well, I saw it,
but I mean, it's all speculation right now.
Yeah, who else does Bovada have?
Seahawks are their favorite.
Okay,
Seahawks, Patriots, Broncos, Seahawks, Patriots, Packers, Broncos, Cowboys. And then it's kind of a grab bag after that.
Yeah. No, I think I saw it on ESPN had something about Steelers being a favorite. Now, granted, all sports books are going to have their own opinion and reasoning, but
it's all speculation right now.
Exactly. Let's see. Any other news? I don't think so. I think that pretty much covers it. National Signing Day is tomorrow for college football fanatics, so that's always a big day for them. Yeah, I think that.
But I guess that's it.
That'll kind of wrap it up. Let's see. Steelers 25-1 odds to win Super Bowl. Well, it says Super Bowl in 2015, but I think they mean next season's.
Why don't they just say Super Bowl 50? Or are they still not sure whether they're using the Roman numerals or the numbers? Super Bowl L.
Yeah. I don't know. Next year's Super Bowl, they have the Steelers at 25-1 favorites. Yeah, Colts are 14-1. Dallas 14-1. Denver's 10-1. Green Bay's 8-1. New England's 7-1. Seattle 5. So it looks like Seattle's actually the favorite for 3 years in a row. That would be.
I don't know. Maybe what if Russell has just what if he crumbles after what happened in the Super Bowl?
Could. I mean, he says it's not going to let that interception define his career, but.
Well, even the last 2 games, he played pretty poopy.
Yeah. Yeah, and until Super Bowl Sunday, granted they faced Aaron Rodgers, but he was hobbling on one leg and still almost beat him. But
hop along Rodgers.
They hadn't faced a solid quarterback since Week 6 against Dallas. You know, until they played Aaron Rodgers on one leg and then Brady in the Super Bowl. So I don't know if it depends what they do with Marshawn Lynch. If they are able to bring him back, if not, it'd be curious to see what happens there. And that's what the off season's for.
Well, we can sleep soundly knowing that. Who did you pick for your Super Bowl winner? San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither of us got it.
Yeah, but at least you had one of your teams in the playoffs.
That's true.
I didn't. Neither of my Super Bowl predictions, New Orleans against San Diego, were in the playoffs. So
yeah, Denver was close, but
what do you think? You think the AFC South is the worst division in the league again next year?
I'd like to see the baton get passed.
It's kind of hard to pick another division that's going to be that bad, though.
I know, but it's nice to see somebody else be the cellar dweller after a while.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
It's like
all right. So yeah, that'll
for
put
a while
wrap
during
on,
the 90s. Those Patriots were pretty terrible.
/15 season. Yeah. Yeah, and then Drew Bledsoe got hurt and Tom Brady stepped in and here we are.
That's true.
But even then, like the AFC East was still a decent division, even though the Pats weren't.
That's also true.
Weren't a leader. But I don't know. Maybe Cam Newton and Matt Ryan and Drew Brees step it up next year and figure out a way to be more competitive.
Well, we have to figure out a way to improve on our predicting abilities.
Yeah.
You and I were under 500. You finished with 45.88% correct. I finished with slightly better, 48.88, and I won our overall weekly series.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out a wager for the end of next year. Some sort of a
stipulation
for whoever loses the weekly picks.
That's what the off season's for.
Yeah, we'll have to brainstorm some ideas and get the creative juices flowing.
I would love to say that we would brainstorm while, eating a freshly opened pack of red velvet Oreos and maybe a big glass of milk, but again, I'm a dreamer.
Well, maybe
I should send more self-addressed stamped envelopes.
Maybe you should send a box so that way they actually have something to put the cookies in.
Yeah, listen, here's the postage, here's the box, just put the cookies in. That's all you have to do.
You know what you should do? Your
obligation's done.
You should write a positive letter to Nabisco and see if they'll send you stuff.
It's like, I could be like athletes do the Disney World thing.
Yeah.
I could just do, now I'm going to go eat some red velvet Oreos. Can't wait to eat some Oreos. I can just have that on my Twitter like every once in a while. It's like, oh, reading some comic books, eating Oreos. Nothing better.
#Velvet.
Bought DuckTales on DVD. Better team it with some Oreos.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Any
Katy Perry
last
halftime show? Oreos.
Any last thoughts for the NFL season?
Last thoughts. No.
Parting
it's going to be
words.
interesting when 2014? Yeah. Even though we're 2015, it's 2014. It's going to be interesting when the 2014 season is put under the microscope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things with Goodell, Patriots, Cheatgate, Deflategate, Deflatorade. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. All right. Let's see. What else we have? You got some comic book recommendations for the week?
Superman apparently gets new powers this week. There's that.
New powers.
Huh. There's a couple of new books from Image. Spawn hits number 250. Mazel tov. Star Wars number 2 comes out this week.
Ooh. Okay.
So there's, plenty to whet your whistle.
I'll have to do that. I definitely am going to be picking up that Star Wars. I'm getting myself entrenched.
Well, it's only going to get worse because then you'll have the Princess Leia miniseries. You'll have the Darth Vader series.
Oh, so many series.
I think there was like one other one. But they'll get there. They'll get there.
I think
it's a slow burn.
All right. Grammys are this Sunday. So be sure to check out the website later this week. I'll have my Grammy predictions up for that. Maybe I'll do better on that than I did in the NFL season, but we'll see. And at the end of every week, we always do movie rumors and news as well. So be sure to check that out. Lots of video game reviews, lots of new writers on the site making their mark. So there's a lot of good new content. So make sure to check it all out. It's good stuff. While you're eating red velvet Oreos.
Stop it.
If they're available to you, then go
It's like
ahead.
the McRib. I'm just getting teased in this like black hole of nebulous in Philadelphia. They just no red velvet Oreos, no McRibs.
You're just missing out on everything.
How's a man to survive? Have unique tastes. They need to be fulfilled.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
Yeah. All right. So I think that'll do it for us for the 2014-15 NFL season here on the No Punt Intended podcast. We will continue regular Buddhacast, so be sure to check those out. I think there was a new one that went up just today. Lots of video game talk, movies, TVs, all that good stuff. So yeah, we'll wrap it up, and yeah, I guess we'll pick this back up again next season, which hopefully will be here sooner than we realize.
Yeah, we're shutting it down for so long that it's
go on.
Why? Anyway, we're shutting it down so long that we're hitting the shutdown button instead of enter rest mode. We're unplugging, maybe putting everything in a neat little box and putting it in the closet, and then, you know, once we get around to football season, we get overjoyed, we go get it, we blow the dust off the box, and we put everything up, and, you know,
like that old video game we always come back to.
Like that old video game we always come back to.
Yeah. All right, you want to take us out one last time?
Mine's probably Tetris. Maybe Contra.
You're gonna shut it down?
Shut it down. Shut it down. Enough of all this. Shut it down. Shut down.
Not rest mode.